10D, receive a report and provide direction to staff regarding a response to the San Bruno Community Foundation proposed projects.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. As the Council is aware, San Bruno Community Foundation was in front of you on January 26th with 4 very exciting proposed projects to be funded by the foundation using the first rollout of project funding from the $70 million restitution fund negotiated by the city and being administered by the Community Foundation. And tonight's report is the proposed City Council formal response to the foundation on those 4 specific projects to be funded by the foundation. And I would just note, as a matter of housekeeping at the beginning, 2 items. Number 1, the draft letter has just been delivered to the City Council, so I'm going to obviously don't expect you to have read it. I'm going to walk through each of the 4 projects and the content of the proposed response. And then secondly, the City Attorney reminds me that Vice Mayor Medina will need to recuse himself from discussion on 1 of the 4 projects. He's prepared to do so, so we're going to walk through 3 of the 4 projects, ask for your action or consideration of action on those 3, and then unfortunately Vice Mayor Medina will need to step down from the DS and will take the 4th project on which he's unable to participate. So first of all, as the City Council communicated to the foundation when the foundation was here on January 26th, this is a very exciting opportunity to realize the promise of improvements to benefit the entire community that the $70 million restitution fund was intended to provide. The City Council expressed its appreciation to the foundation and its congratulations for the good work that the foundation has already completed. And the proposed response reiterates that both that congratulations and that enthusiasm for the beginning of an exciting new chapter in this process and the opportunity to actually work toward concrete delivery of projects that fulfill that vision. Specifically, the letter is intended to respond both with the general support for that the City Council has already expressed on the 4 proposed projects and to provide a more specific response on each of those 4. 2 of the projects have already essentially been approved by the City Council by your action on January 26th. We'll start with those 2. The first is the preparation of a community facilities vision plan, and in particular, the Foundation's proposed approach to the development of such a plan with a pre-planning process to be undertaken that would define both the scope of the comprehensive vision plan as well as a roadmap to developing the comprehensive vision plan. The Foundation has proposed $300,000 in funding for completion of the comprehensive vision plan, and the Foundation has proposed the specific use of the pre-planning process to, as I said, as a first step towards the completion of the comprehensive vision plan. At the January 26th meeting, the City Council appointed, or rather the Mayor appointed, a subcommittee of the Council comprised of himself and Councilmember O'Connell to work on this particular part of the Foundation's proposed projects. And I'm pleased to report, as the letter reports to the Foundation, that we're excited to begin the pre-planning process with a meeting to begin this week with the committee that will comprised of the Council subcommittee staff and a subcommittee of the Foundation board. That will be followed by a second meeting in mid-March, and then subsequently within approximately 2 months, a completed work product from the pre-planning phase. At that point, staff anticipates that the City Council will have some additional information that will allow you to scope the selection of a consultant to move forward with the comprehensive vision planning process. And once a selection process has occurred, you will be in a better position to identify the cost of that comprehensive process and to consider any additional actions that may need to be taken with respect to funding. So while at this point we don't know whether $300,000 will be sufficient, it's certainly sufficient to make a good start with the pre-planning process and to work towards the identification of a consultant to assist with the comprehensive process. On the second project, and again, this is a really truly exciting project that the City Council has already authorized, and this letter simply reports back to the foundation the status of our planning, and that is the Community Day sponsorship for delivery of a Community Day in the Park event for 2016. The City Council previously expressed its support for the Foundation's proposal that that event be delivered in early summer 2016, and you directed staff to contact and to, if feasible, to begin work in coordination with San Bruno Lions Club to coordinate the Community Day event for 2016 with the annual Lions Club Posy Parade event, which is traditionally held on the first Sunday in June. That work is already in process. The Lions Club has agreed to coordinate with the city in the delivery of a joint event, and that event is now planned and is being worked for delivery on June 5th, 2016. So that project is well in process, and we're really looking forward to just about 3 months from now delivering that event in coordination with the San Bruno Lions. The third initiative proposed by the Foundation is the identification of pedestrian safety improvements and implementation of those improvements on Cherry Avenue and in the downtown corridor. The Foundation identified those as important safety improvements and important locations given the volume of pedestrian traffic in both of those locations. And perhaps in part because of the Foundation's identification and raising community consciousness about the need for the safety improvements in that location, we actually have the fortuitous opportunity of an ongoing discussion now with both Google YouTube as well as Walmart.com regarding the installation of improvements in the Cherry Avenue corridor and both companies' potential participation in funding those improvements. As such, this letter proposes that we focus the pedestrian safety improvement evaluation on the downtown corridor on San Mateo Avenue, and that we consider the potential for reallocating any available additional funds. The letter also outlines the city's standard process for pedestrian and other traffic and circulation improvement considerations to be developed for review and recommendation by the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee, our TSPC that you heard from tonight. And we look forward to working with the TSPC to bring back some proposed improvements and costs, and then potentially further conversation with the Foundation regarding the potential for reallocation of any remaining funds. So at this point, I think I will stop and ask for any question or comment by the City Council, and then, as I said, your consideration of action to approve the general framework of the response back to the Foundation on those 3 items.
Great. Any questions for the manager on these 3 items? Ken?
Community Day sponsorship, I'm glad to see that my colleagues in the Lions Club are cooperating and working well.
We are too.
I also want to reiterate that I do want to make it truly a community day, and so it's not just about the Lions, and I know that, you know, the Posey Parade is a Lions Club tradition, but, you know, Community Day means all aspects of the community, schools and other organizations too, and I'm hoping that's being communicated. As far as the lighted crosswalks, I would hope that we just don't find, you know, places to put those lighted crosswalks, that we look at regionally too, so that we can collaborate with other cities that are looking at these types of installations, and possibly what's the term I'm looking at? Discount for common discount throughout the region or something. I know they've done that with PED signs. I know they've done that with other types of equipment throughout the region, and you know, contract with somebody to, you know, do a few here in San Bruno, do a few in maybe a neighboring community or something. Because as CCAG, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee with CCAG, we're always looking at ways to save money and increase the uses of our funds.
Anything else for the manager? Oh, Connie?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that actually in response to your first comment regarding the Community Day event, we're very pleased that the coordination with the Lions Club is an enthusiastic one. And in fact, the event, I think you will find that it will be a real opportunity not only to coordinate the two events, but to really provide a wonderful experience utilizing the whole of City Park, so that we don't anticipate at this point that there'll be a substantial impact on the typical activities that the Lions Club has hosted as part of the Posey Parade event, but really an opportunity to expand, to coordinate, and to really deliver a truly wonderful event, as I said, utilizing the whole of our beautiful city park. Regarding the crosswalks, I wasn't aware that there might be other cities considering or utilizing the opportunity of coordinated purchasing for the lighted crosswalks. I just would comment that our intent would be to actually look at the pedestrian situation on San Mateo Avenue to determine whether and then what type of improvements are best suited to that location, but not to focus on any particular improvement, and to take advantage of the expertise, both of our staff as well as of the TSPC, in evaluating what is the best, most suitable improvement for this location, and then to follow our normal process in that regard. We'll certainly look at cooperative purchasing if that's an opportunity.
Anything
Chair?
else? Vice Mayor?
What was the quantity? It's not here. How much for the lighted crosswalks? Was it 200,000 or was it 100?
So the amount that the foundation had proposed in total for pedestrian improvements was $170,000.
Thank you.
Anything else? Do you want action on this, or?
We would appreciate your direction and guidance regarding finalization of the letter so that it can be distributed to the foundation, and then to proceed with the last item.
Okay. Is it fair to say that the council, we have a consensus on the recommendations per the letter on the first three items? Okay?
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Great.
Let's get on to the last item, and I believe the Vice Mayor has to recuse himself.
Yes.
And just so
Did-
the record
yeah.
will reflect that the Vice Mayor is recusing himself because he lives within 500 feet of the proposed park.
He can use the park when it's done, though, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just making sure.
I think we're all looking forward to being able to use the park at
Right.
that location. It's actually a terrific opportunity. And as the City Council is well aware, you have already made a very extensive commitment to this property and to the vision of a future park in this location, both to benefit the neighborhood, which does not have a neighborhood park nearby, but also to benefit the proximity to the downtown, at the southern end of the downtown. So this is a particularly exciting proposal and opportunity for us as well as for the city, given your previous commitment of over $800,000 to purchase the property and to provide funding for demolition of the existing structures and a remediation of the site. Just as a side note, that work is in process, and during the next month, we expect to be in front of you again with a contract, with a request for award of a contract for the demolition and remediation activities, and we look forward to that work proceeding expediently thereafter. Given that we're already in process and the City Council has already expressed its priority for work to proceed in that manner, we would envision being able to begin a strategic park planning process similar to the one that has recently begun for the development or for the replacement of the Earl and Glenview Park that was destroyed in the 2010 PG&E gas line explosion and fire. That process has proved, with one meeting under our belt, to be a very great opportunity for people to get together to share their ideas and their vision for what the park should, what kind of amenities should be provided, how the site might be designed in order to provide maximum opportunity for use and enjoyment with potentially a variety of activities envisioned for that park. Similarly, we imagine that we know that there is a great deal of interest within the adjacent neighborhood, and we believe within the community as a whole, as the park at 324 Florida Avenue will be the first park to be developed within at least 2 decades within our community. And perhaps some of you on the City Council may know more exactly, but it has been many, many years. Although we take great pride in our parks and we have done a good job of upgrading and keeping them fresh with the installation of new play equipment, it's been a very long time since we've actually had the opportunity to build a new park. So this is a very exciting opportunity. Again, the letter outlines the process that we would envision utilizing, in particular a strategic or park visioning and planning process to be followed by specific park design development to be followed by construction of park improvements. Now, the Foundation has outlined a desired timeframe for delivery of projects by the end of calendar 2016. I'm recommending to you tonight that we can begin that park planning process very quickly, and we can overlap that with the process that I just outlined for demolition and remediation of the site, and be in a position within, I would imagine, a few months to begin detailed design of the park improvements at 324 Florida. The Foundation has identified $200,000 in funding for this project, for construction of a park, for planning, design development, and construction of a park. I'm sorry to have to recommend to you that that amount will not be sufficient, and the city does not yet have other funds programmed for the actual construction of a park. So again, the letter suggests that we will be in a position, once we complete the park vision process and design development, to understand more completely what the cost of construction will be, and then, as necessary, to review that further, either internally or with the Foundation. So with that, that concludes the specific responses to the information that was outlined in the letter that you received from the foundation and considered on a preliminary basis at your January 26th meeting. And again, we would look forward to moving quickly to finalizing the letter and communicating with the foundation.
Good. Any questions? Rico?
Through the chair, and this is nothing on the letter, that's fine. Just as we enter into a budget season 2, I'd like to see staff look toward grants or opportunities as well with the foundation. I'd also like to see in the 16-17 budget going forward to ensure that we're going to have the resources in order, and that's been one of my concerns on this project, why I voted no originally, was to have it, we're going to invest time, invest money, we want to be able to keep it up and keep it to the standards that the neighborhood and this community expect. So I want to make sure the resources are allocated and the person power is available to ensure that.
Okay. Anything else? All right. We've discussed this before. I think this is important enough. I'd like to appoint a subcommittee to follow this through of Councilmember Rico Medina and Irene O'Connell. I think they'd be great proponents of this going forward. I'd also like Park and Rec to prepare 2 new shovels for these individuals here so that we can maintain this going forward. Anyway, we have a consensus that on the 324 Florida property?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And the Vice Mayor can return now.